Jane Seymour, Her Open Heart. I picked this up at a store called Hamrick's, and I think it was like $9.99 or something, $10. Um, I I like that looks like that, you know, like romantic jewelry. I know I've seen people wearing that symbol like on their necklaces and whatnot. I like Jane Seymour. I mean, I don't watch. I've watched her show. What is it that she's on? She's the medicine woman. It's wholesome. She's very feminine. I can't say that I've watched it loads, but y'all get the point. She has a very feminine way about her. So this is her fragrance, and I want to point out that she also has a men's one called Open Heart, as opposed to Her Open Heart. And one thing that I want to say before I even review this fragrance that I thought was neat was that the male counterpart to this, Open Heart, is supposed to be complementary to this one. So she's in the idea. I can't remember if I might have seen like an advertisement, like her talking about it for like the Home Shopping Network or something. I can't remember, but so or if I read it. God, isn't that crazy? But I think it was her talking about how they're supposed to complement each other in the way that like a man and woman walking together as a couple, like when they're walking together, when he's wearing the open heart and she's wearing her open heart, the fragrances complement each other. And I could see that even though I don't have the male version. I can imagine that. um, and I think I saw somebody in review said that she occasionally wears she herself, Jane Seymour, will wear the men's one. Supposedly, that's something I saw a reviewer say, like on somewhere where I was reading reviews. So I don't know that she said that. That's just what someone else said. But she did say that the two fragrances complement each other. So when the man and woman are walking hand in hand, it smells good. So I do like this bottle. Keep in mind, this is, I got it for $10 celebrity fragrance, but this bottle itself is very heavy. It looks like in the shape of like some of those locket type jewelry things also. Some jewelry theme and, looks very hearty, romantic, Valentine's Day-ish. Now the cap is on there. I like that red. That's a really pretty red. The cap is on there strong when it's all the way on. See, that's actually on there super strong. However, I did hear people say that, I think on one of the ordering sites, a few different people said theirs broke. And I think what they're talking about is what you need to be careful with, if you could see, is that part right there. You hear that? So you don't want to be, when you open it, pressing on this, because I think that part will break because it's not like strong actual metal. It's like plastic, so you don't want to break that part. But otherwise, it's on there strong. Excuse me, my allergies, I think, have just been choking me up. I know that was loud in your ear. Um, I like the bottle actually. Her open heart. So, what's it smell like? I like it. My initial impression was that it sharp, very feminine, and kind of throwback 80s, early 90s, and its sharpness, sharp, uh, but yet I like it because it's very feminine. And before I get into the notes, the only thing that I think would make this better is I feel like it needs some more grounding, like some more bass notes. However, even though it's a bit sharp and loud when you first spray it, it does calm down a little bit. And some people say it doesn't have good longevity. Well, the projection part of it, that loud projection, is for a few hours, 2 or 3 hours. But then actually, y'all know I like to spray like my little teddy bear on the bed or my pig or whatever. I can still smell it on there the next day, but that loud projection, it's like it's a burst of loud for a few hours and then you have to get up on it. But yet, even when you're on top of it, though, even though you're pressing your nose to it, it's not subtle, even though it's not projecting, if that makes sense. Um, But yeah, and also I want to point out that for the men's version, Fragrantica only list a couple notes. I think they list for the men's version lavender and sea notes. However, when you look on other sites, the men's version has several more notes than that. It's not just two notes. And so she talks about like growing up, I think, with her mother and being in the flower fields or whatever. And I could picture that. This is November right now, and our weather has gone back and forth from warm to cold, but rain, and now it's pretty cold, even though it's not as cold during the day. But this probably, I just picture like a man and woman after hearing what she said, walking together, each with their version of the fragrance on. And I'm trying to take into consideration like her age and, you know, people tend to be attracted to experience in life and fragrance association, smell association with life experience. So I do think that this has a bit of a more of a feminine romantic retro vibe from the time frame I already described. But that doesn't mean you can't wear it now. I do like it. I mean, it's wouldn't be an everyday thing for me, but I like having it because I like the vibe of it. Let's just look at Fragrantica. In this way, I could tell you what I agree or disagree with. So it's definitely floral, and there's something fresh about it. I think it must be the pear note in it. So as you see, fruity. It's not overly rosy smelling, and it's not overly sweet, and it's really not very woody. But I would say there's some muskiness and aquaticness to it. It's not an aquatic fragrance in and of itself, but there is something about it that's slightly aquatic. I picture the two of them instead of walking in flower fields, more like walking along the beach, but maybe, flower fields and then sandy beach area. I don't know. It has a romantic vibe, even though it's like throwback, kind of loud, especially initially, and sharp. So I'll tell you what I get most strongly in this. I really get that osmanthus. I mean, I get the pear, but I really get that osmanthus. And again, you see, there's not even like any nice solid bass notes listed. It has sway, but it does not have an overly any kind of leathery feel at all, or suede feel. Um, Maybe the cashmereness to it, yes. But like people say that, see, look, so they see the loudness, but they talk about longevity being weak. And I think that's because it's open so loud, and that the loudness doesn't last all day, but it does linger on fabric for sure. It's just not like projecting outward. Um, Now, somebody down here, there's not too many comments on Fragrantica. Uh, This person talks about Olivia Bell. I totally disagree. I don't see any association with that at all whatsoever. Now, I used to have the full size Beautiful, but now I still just have like a travel size of it somewhere because I've had it more than once over the years. That bottle of Beautiful, and Beautiful is still a top seller. Of course, it's, a big floral bouquet. And I do have in my room right now, and I've still never done a full review. I think I've only done a short of the Fred Heyman 273 Rodeo Drive, which I like, and I like the packaging. It looks like a yellow shopping bag. And that does the Al Rahab oil. I think it's called Elena. I have to go back and look. I've got that here somewhere too. It does have a lot of similarity to the Fred Heyman. Did I say Hyman a minute ago? Oh my God. Fred Heyman's 273 Rodeo Drive. Um, so I could see, even though this does not smell like either one of those two to me, I definitely see where this reviewer is getting at with that time frame vibe. Um, Gosh, this person's got a long review. Well, you can see here. Of course, you can always look that up yourself. Let's see, what was I going to? And, I can agree with that. I like the idea of Jane Seymour and her characters. Again, there is something very feminine and romantic about this. It's feminine, floral, yet fresh, yet a little sharp. And I'd like to find the men's one and just put them together and see how what I think then. But yeah, I mean, at the price point, I would love to hear if one of y'all have tried this. I mean, if you find it too for like $10, try it. If you like that throwback time frame vibe, and if you think you can do with the sharpness and a lot of osmanthus, as I said, check it out. But isn't that beautiful though? I think that's so pretty. I just think romance and Valentine's Day and kind of love. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.